Yo, it's Kevin Trades, my weekly recap and outlook for DAX, the German index. So let's get straight into it. As you can see, this is the German index. This is the weekly candle. We opened at 24,388.9 and closed at 23,982.6. If I go into daily, you can see we only had one bullish candle this week, and the rest were bearish, bearish, bearish. So yeah, first things first, gotta check the news. We had FOMC press conference on Wednesday at 6:30 p.m. Thursday, we had monetary policy statement and a ECB press conference at 1:45 p.m. So not a lot of news, but yeah, it was still pretty good opportunity this week. As you can see, we were heading bearish, but three of my drawn liquidities got hit this week, and the levels didn't really hold except for Wednesday. Is that Wednesday? That's Tuesday. So yeah, let's just get straight into it. Monday, London session. So we left a big new week opening up. I will mark this out as orange. Let's make it orange. There we go. So coming into Monday, London session, we were just filling in the gap. So these two draws got hit straight away. Monday held us high of the week. And we were just bearish. So first two draws got hit with the NWOG, new week opening up. And we gave this reaction. We tried taking it at 12, didn't really take it, and then we reacted off of these order blocks and these fair value ups here, and then London Open. We were obviously coming to fill up this gap. So yeah, let's just see how you could have caught this. So coming into London session, we were bearish on the hourly. That's the 8 a.m. close, but we were bearish from here. That's a brick structure. Yep. And then there was nothing much on the 15. We had this really nice bullish 15-minute fairly up, which got inversed at London Open, and we traded lower. Let's make this an actual fair value up. That's purple. Fair value up 2 should do it. And we had this other fairly up here, which we traded into at 8:45, and then traded away from, filling the gap nicely. We can see here this was a nice little EQ tap. Good reactions. Let me get rid of this so you can see it more clearly. Nice reaction here, and then we just came down and filled the gap, which is nice to see. Good reactions here. Another nice fair value up here, and yeah, bias was bearish, and you could have got this nice sell. I will say also on the daily, once these two draws got hit, this was like a sweep. We'll get into that though, into the bias flip, because we were trading inside of this daily bullish fairly up for like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days until Friday finally disrespects it. You can see here. I will make this. Let's not make anything. Let's put a line here and make it blue. So you can just see the reactions throughout the week off of this fair value up. You can see on Monday, once we did fill in the gap, we did not take the first draw yet, which was the news low. Instead, we started to reverse off of initial tap of the daily fairly up, filling up the gap, and 11:30 opens. Well, the new forward opened at 11. Fill in the gap, taps the fairly up, gives a reaction, comes back down, resweeps at 1:30. Let's just check the news. Nope. And yeah, coming to London session, you'd be bullish because the gap got failed. We tapped the daily fairly up, and these are liquidity sweeps. Double low got swept. So yeah, coming into New York, you had this nice 15-minute bullish fairly up, which just gets perfectly respected. If you go into the hourly, I don't think there was much. Oh, actually, we had this nice hourly fair value up here, perfectly respected. 3 p.m. reacts off it really nicely. 30-minute as well. But yeah, 3 p.m. opens, taps in, gives reaction, fills it in completely, taps this order block because we have a sweep and then a break structure. So this order block here is very nice. And then 45 past resweeps, 4 p.m. opens, and then we pump up. That was Monday. Pretty clean day. This was the only bullish day we had. The only reason it's bullish is because we open here and then close here. But apart from that, the rest of the week is bearish. So yeah, at this point I was like still bullish because the daily fairly up top got respected. but then we were ranging hella. But yeah, let's get into Tuesday, which is here. And you can see this is where we finally take the news low. So Tuesday opens up, we take this journal liquidity, which is the news low, perfectly. Literally just edged it. Whenever you see like an edge like this, it most likely means we're coming back. So that could have been another drawn liquidity. But off of this reaction after daily value up and this 5-minute fair value up getting respected perfectly, you could have caught a nice buy here. There was really nice EQ taps on the lower time frames. Let's see. You can see here the 1 minute moving nice sweep. This is not EQ tap, but this one was, and this one was very clean. Around 9 p.m. I mean 9 a.m. comes up, comes for this high, comes for this high, and yeah, the 5 minute gets tapped again. It's a nice sweep here at 10 o'clock, and this comes for high of the day. Should have been this high, but yeah, you could have got a nice trade from here, from the daily fairly up. But that was the only like buyish trade you could have caught, except for Monday as well. And then obviously we create high of the day on Tuesday at 1 o'clock, 1 p.m. Just have a look. Exact timing 1:16. We have a nice sweep here on the hourly, weak high. Didn't break past anything. We sweep this, and then we finally break past, so now that turns into a strong high. Let's just draw this out properly. So that's a nice sweep. We also have this nice hourly inverse, which we tapped into the other week on Monday and Tuesday. It was really nice. High of the day kind of just holds at like 10, 11 p.m. on Monday. We came for that, which is nice. And it also counts as not only high of the day, because Monday's high of the day was, wait, where are we? What the? Monday's high of the day is up here, but we did come for the high we placed, which is nice. Hourly week high. The fall was disgusting this week. But yeah, this hourly inverse value up is beautiful. You can see the reactions here, and then we'll look at New York session. It's 3 p.m. Sweep, and we have this order block on the 5 minute probably. Fair value up, taps this. This is an order block, taps this order block here. Plenty of times. 4:30 also taps it, and then we dump for this news low again because we didn't really sweep it as much. But yeah, as you can see, this move here is pretty nice. That's Tuesday New York session. Offered this 5 minute fair value up / order block. High the day placed in. Really nice EQ tap, OTE tap here as well at open. So yeah, the order block was nice. Let's make this orange. You can see the action of the sweep was nice. And we have this big displacement here, and then we tap OTE. So this move down was very clean back to here. So yeah, that was the 3 draws that got hit. Coming into Wednesday, the levels finally got hit perfectly, I would say. But it was Asian session, so you want to be trading at 1:45 a.m. and it pumped all the way back up to this same 5 minute order block at 8 o'clock. And like I was saying, with this high, this was a weak high, but now this is a strong high. Why? Because in the hourly, we were still in this on NMOG region, and we did also tap the daily fairly up here, and that's what this last reaction is. We also respect this hourly fair value up perfectly, and then we finally broke below the daily fair up. But let's just see how you could have caught this on the 5 minute. So London opens on Wednesday. We come up, tap the 5-minute order block, give a reaction, and that's just high of the day. Like I was saying, this would have been a strong high, so we draw a high from here to down here, and it's like almost OTE, but it's OTE region, like somewhere here. OTE region, and then gives a reaction. So yeah, you could have got this nice move down, and this run -1, which is crazy because this is an hourly retracement. You can see here, perfect 0.618 lines up with the hourly fair value up. And yeah, we did have this sweep here, which was disgusting at 12. But again, could have given you a nice opportunity to enter. Block structure here, and then fair value up, inverses on the 15, which is nice. And then we finally came below, breaking below that daily fair value up. Going on to daily though, there's so many lines, my apologies. Let's just remove that, there we go. This daily fair value up would have been a nice draw. I think I did have this marked as well. No, sorry, this one. This low, and so this low is obviously unbalanced. So what I did have this low marked out. This would have been a draw once we broke past our daily fairly up, which we did on Friday, but we were coming below on Wednesday and Thursday. But Wednesday sales were nice off of just this hourly fairly up. And then we come down, that was New York session. New York opens, dumps. You can see daily fairly up. Tries giving a reaction. New York opens, dumps, comes back up. And then obviously we have the news event, FOMC press conference, and then you can see what that did here. I just want to see how you could have caught this dump. No, there wasn't really much on the 15. On the hourly, we were obviously bearish because of this big structure. Nice hourly inverse here. It only get disrespected until open, until the hourly closes. But consider reactions here. 3-minute fair value up. Where are we? Nice 5-minute fairly up there. Nice EQ taps along the way. And this run quite a bit. But yeah, good sells on Wednesday New York session. Now coming into Thursday, you can see what news did. It was diabolical. But Thursday we start to retrace back up. High the day gets placed in early. We trace back up into this fair value up and gave reaction, and that was just high of the day, which is nice to see. That is so purple. Mark this out. That was high of the day at 2 a.m. So we were very bearish coming into the rest of the week. Nice reactions here on the 15. That perfect fairly up there, and that's an EQ tap on the lower time frames. But coming into London Open on Thursday, we had this nice draw, which would have been this low. And like I said, these lows would have been a draw once price is below the levels. So yeah, we have this nice 15-minute inverse at open, and then on the 5-minute, obviously that tap here, OTE, perfect OTE here at 8:45, and then we just dumped very nicely. Price comes back up for New York session, which is right here. This looks like OTE. Not really. This is like equal highs, which could be a future draw on liquidity, but nice accumulation, and then it just dumps finally. This isn't a bad region either, but this is coming to Friday. But yeah, that was Thursday. Not really the best. I mean, this move here on London was very clean. High the day gets placed in early. Price reverses around 130 again. I mean, this runs -1, this OTE level on the 5, so it's not a bad trade. I think that's... Let's have a look. I can't remember, honestly, off the top of my head. I think it's like, yeah, 20. It's on 17. Is it? It's around 15 or 17. There you go, 18. And then how much is these? I know this is around 8. Yeah. But yeah, pretty good trade off of this OTE level. You can see the bearish reactions. I think the 30-minute was clean as well. Yeah, this 30-minute fairly up just gets touched up. And again, that's just high the day on Thursday. Well, high the day was here. But it's a nice little retracement. And then we dump further, go for this low. And then this sweep holds. And then we reverse. And then use hits. And then we reverse. But that was Thursday. Coming into Friday, we were just looking at it, which is here. 8 a.m. on Friday. It was a nice OTE level tap, 0.86, double highs, and then this retracement, and then again it's just OTE from this high as well, and these highs here, and this runs more than -2 straight to these draws here. So yeah, you love to see it. You do get an opportunity pre New York, but after New York it just kind of goes sideways. Not really much, but again, this is a nice trade because look at this edge here. Again, whenever it edges it or takes it by one tick, it always comes to resweep. And you can see how New York opens, we come up 5-minute order block here, OTE, and again you could have had this nice trade as at 3:45 around 4 p.m. 80 points, 90 points, that's more than enough. But yeah, that was pretty much it. It was pretty bearish. There's so much things on my chart right now. It is disgusting. Let's delete it all. But yeah, that was pretty much it. We were bearish hella. And then obviously Friday closes below this daily fairly up. Finally disrespecting it. But we were in it for quite a while. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 taps for it to disrespect this daily bullish fairly up. So yeah, my bias has flipped. I will say you can see a strong high. We did take 2 draws instantly and then reversed, which has happened before in the past. It looks pretty simple. It looks pretty like I feel like we've had this week before. For example, all it was just a weekly sweep, and then on the 4-hour we broke structure here, and then we had a perfect fair value up. I didn't even mention this, which was the high of the day on Wednesday, right here. So weekly sweep, break structure, fair value up, and then good move down. But even so, you would have had opportunities to enter like this retracement here on Thursday. But Thursday and Wednesday provided really good sells, especially during London or New York. But this accumulation here was disgusting early on in the week. You can see we did edge. Monday's sell was pretty clean on London. I think on the lower time frame it was just, it was around 7 or 8. I want to see because I'm pretty sure it was OTE here as well. Was it? Am I tripping? Well, this looks like an OTE tap. Around 7:45. Where's 45? Here. Yeah. Pretty close. I know that's OTE. And he taps it again. Pretty close, but either way, it was good sells on Monday. At least to fill the gap. And then draw would have been this gap here, and then the, what was the 1 o'clock low, which was my initial draw. Didn't get hit, and then price starts to reverse. But this sell here was probably the cleanest, obvious sell. And then this sell again was very clean. But this week high gets taken. We break below, and then perfect hourly fairly up. It's just that these wicks are disgusting, but these wicks show that price came all the way up here and then pushed down here and closed below. So sellers were in control the entire week, and you can see that with this huge push down. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I can delete all drawings, can I? Sure. So yeah, coming into next week, we are still in this weekly fair value gap. I did also say I wanted this weekly fairly wick rebalance, and we didn't really rebalance it here on last week, and we just swept the high and then came back down to sweep the low, which is fine. The daily failure up, the big daily failure up that we're in is still getting respected. You can see here, but I do want this to get disrespected. We did disrespect this, so this can be used as an inverse. On my next draw will just be probably this low. And I want sells from probably around the new week opening up, around this region, and around the daily fair value up region. So I will put a level here at 217. And if we go into the hourly, isn't really much. Not really. I want these highs getting taken, so I might even just put a level here at these double highs, a bit higher actually, at this 15-minute. That could be my two levels. And then my draws would just be from here to here. It's a clean range, but that's all-time highs. I don't think we're gonna reach all-time highs next week because we are coming to the new month of November. Yup. I do want this low taken. It's interesting because last month swept the previous month's low, and then this month swept all of these highs and then closed below it, which is fine. This is a good draw for the future, but I will just leave it for now. We're in this range here. I'm happy with them levels, but I also want another draw. I think it's a bit too obvious putting Friday low as a draw, but I might have to do it. I'll put it here. Yeah, sure. Because here to here is a clean range. But what I want to happen is something like this. Pretty much, pretty simply. Something like this. We could also come down and then go up, which my bias would flip. But this weekly fair value up, I'll put a level here. Should I put a level? I'll put a draw. How about that? So I am bearish. These are my levels and these are my draws. If we break past this high, I will flip my bias for this high and then obviously 25k, which isn't far off, but I have to mention it every time because I do reckon 25,000 will get hit before the end of the year, and there's only 2 months left, so we need to rebalance this week. I'll put this draw here at the CE of this week, which is just the equilibrium. So I'm happy with these draws. These could just get all taken in one big swoop. And then for buys, I will put another level at around this OTE, which is 23,548. So I want, put it quite simply, I want something like this to happen for the rest of the year. I do see it happening. Or we could sweep. Thing is, this is a strong low, sweep, and then a break above. So I do expect you to just do this. This was a nice bearish week. Pretty textbook. Like I said, it was just a weekly sweep, break structure fairly up. I think we've seen it before. On one of these weekly recaps, I do remember literally the exact same thing happening where two of my draws got taken and then we just reversed the entire week. But maybe it's something to keep a note of. But yeah, that's pretty much it. That's the DAX recap. Keep it clean and simple. Here are my draws on liquidities. The green lines and the purple lines are my levels. See you next week.